Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So let's begin our session with a wonderful quote. Mental health is not a destination, but a process. It's about how you drive, not where you are going. So, for starting a new chapter of learning, I, Divya Jain, being your host for today's event, wants to extend a warm greetings and good evening to all of you present here. On behalf of the whole SEMS family, I welcome you all to our international webinar on emotional well-being. Today, we gather as a community with a common purpose to explore the boundless potential of our emotions and the impact they have on our overall well-being. In this digital age, where life moves as a relentless pace, it's crucial to pause and invest in our emotional health, an often overlooked aspect of our lives. So let's take a deep breath, open our hearts and minds, and begin this empowering exploration into the realm of emotional well being. Remember, you are not alone on this journey, and together we will discover the keys to unlocking a happier, healthier, and more fulfilled life. And to add our guest of honor and today's speaker, Miss Sina Singh. It is a great honor to have you with us, ma'am. We are very grateful for your presence. Now, let me introduce our today's speaker to you all. She has been working on individual self-growth for last 15 years and is ready to awaken millions of people in the future. She is a dynamic professional with years of experience in behavior and leadership training. Her mission is to develop self-worth and emotional awareness by partnering with individuals to achieve their desired goals of life and contribute in the growth of society. She has trained 20,000 plus individuals on leadership, diversity, behavior management, stress, and interpersonal skills. She is also a psychology counselor certified by NHCA Singapore. She has coached, counseled, and mentored more than 3,000 individuals in emotional awareness and self growth. Now, over to you, ma'am. You may start the session.
Thank you so much, Divya. Thank you so much, and lovely to see you. Oh, I see Shan there as well. Hi, Shantanu. And yes, thank you so much for calling me on this platform. And yes, I know that SEMS is working hard towards people's mental well-being, and I would say an overall well-being of individuals, and that's why you're conducting these seminars. So I would really appreciate if people can come on video mode, as this is a platform which is for you and for me as well. So we are here to exchange some, beautiful thoughts with each other, wherein we are contributing to each other's growth. So I see Sayam, I see Abrar, I see Yashpal, I see Magdalena, we see Chebulu also, and Abhishek. So, I would just like to thank you, Chebulu, for coming on video mode. And I truly, truly understand that how difficult is it to sit in front of camera and just keep looking and listening to somebody. So do not worry. I would not mind if you're not there on video mode. But yes, I want all your commitment for next. How much time do I have? We have 50 minutes probably to speak. Yeah. So I will take that opportunity to give the best of what I have. And yes, when we talk about emotional well-being, we talk about us. You agree? Yes. So you can unmute yourself and say, this is your platform. You can share, you can
Yes.
discuss, right? I love to interact. That's what I would check. I was checking with Divya in the, back end that, okay, can I ask questions to the participants or not? Because that's my style. That's my way. I cannot just go blabber, 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 and you are just listening to me, right? So to begin our today's session, my one question to each one of you, all the participants that are there here right now, I want to ask that how are you feeling right now? Do not manipulate, do not let your brain manipulate you. Just simply answer, how are you feeling right now? Can be good, bad, whatever. You can put it in the chat box, and I would appreciate if you can unmute and share. What are you feeling? Anybody? Jata says good. Okay. I see Abhishek, I see Shan, I see Divya. Shan says normal. Okay, makes sense. Anybody who's feeling out of the box, very happy. Chebulu, you're smiling enough. Is there something on your mind?
Yeah,
See,
somewhat going
anybody
on.
else who would like to share? Good going. Great. It's okay even if something good is not happening, right? So sometimes it's okay to be in that zone wherein we are not feeling good, wherein we are not feeling right. You don't have to compel your brain that no, no, you have to be good. You have to be, happy, right? Abhishek, do we compel ourselves? Do we compel ourselves? Anybody who compels? Yes. So if we are meeting a boss, how do you have to look? How do you have to look happy?
Actually, I can't say anything about this as of now.
Okay. No worries. I would let you speak as well later on. Right? So when it comes to talking about emotions and when it comes to feeling our emotions, there's a huge range of emotions that we all carry every moment in time, right? So I'm gonna today explain you about that what are emotions, what is emotional well-being, how we have to take care of ourselves, and what are the triggers that affect our emotions, right? So to begin with, as I said, that how are you feeling today? That matters the most because that is a question you have to keep asking yourself throughout the day, right? Because what happens, you may get up in the morning, you feel something, there is some emotion going on, some sort of reaction you're giving to your family as well, right in the morning or maybe in the night, any time, I would say. So at that time, you do notice your emotion. Maybe when you're extremely happy, maybe when you're very angry with somebody, maybe when you don't feel like talking because the last night, fight was not over with the spouse, with a girlfriend, with a friend. Next day. Do we carry? Do we carry old emotions? Yes, you can give me a thumbs up as well, right?
Yes, yes, on the head like extra baggage.
Yes, the baggage. The baggage is so difficult to get rid of this baggage sometimes. Yes. So what happens is that emotions they play a very vital role in our life, and a lot of times they are unaddressed. A lot of times we do not address that. What happens really is that we kind of think that okay, I am going through this particular thing. I'm going through that particular thing. That's it. But what about my emotions about it? What about what am I feeling about it? Sometimes somebody gives us a project and we don't want to do that project. So do you deny? Do you say, I don't want to do, but still I have to do? Right? Right? Do you acknowledge your feelings? Or let's say your mother has, asked you to come and celebrate some, important thing with family members, but you're occupied and you don't have space and time for them, right? So there are feelings. So what happens basically is that emotions, they play, they entangle your entire mind if they are unaddressed. So the importance of emotional well-being in today's time is crucial, especially post the COVID times. I am a mental health expert. I talk to people about mental health on daily basis. And trust me, the kind of situations we are facing right now, they're more in our head more than the reality. Right? How many of you have fears? Yes, Chibu. It depends on the priority. That's how mechanical we all are now, right?
Exactly.
Practicality. This is what it is that, okay, priority. Always prioritize your time. Everybody says this in the world. So we are just prioritizing, we are becoming practical, and the feeling part is getting suppressed. Day by day, it's getting suppressed, right? The importance here is that we bring out those emotions. We bring out those emotions and we really address them, and that too timely, right? So a lot of us have, gone through a lot during the COVID times. Do you all agree? Yes, no, 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 yes.
Yes, yes, of course.
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody, I've
Yeah.
also gone through a lot. Everyone has gone through, right?
Yeah.
Chan has gone through. Premlata, are you there? Isha, are you there? Soni, are you there? Sujata says yes. Yashpal, mentally we have gone through a lot. Yes, Shibulu, we have gone through a lot. Anybody else who would like to write in the chat box that makes me feel that yes, you're listening to me, right? Yes, Yashpal says yes. If I keep calling the names, you'll keep coming and answering, right? So, guys, it's so important that we detangle ourselves. How many of you do meditations every day? Okay. Abhishek, that's fine. So, meditation, other people can also write. Soni can write, Mrs. Anita can write, Abrar can write. Yashpal says, I do it every day. Yes, Sujata says, I don't do. Right? So, the meditation that we do every day is a moment of reflection, is the time when we sit and reflect on ourselves. And a lot of times I have seen with my patients that I'm sorry, I should not call them patients, my clients, that I have seen that, they do meditation, but still they're not able to address their emotion. Anybody who wants to agree with me here?
Yes, ma'am. I think that they are not open to share their feelings or something like that, opinion, their thoughts might be.
Absolutely. Sometimes we are not able to share it with ourselves also. So what happens that sometimes when I'm meditating, if there is some, very strong feeling that passes by or a thought passes by, I tend to ignore it. We all tend to sometimes ignore it. Okay, let's keep it at a bay because I'm not in a position to handle it right now. So meditation really works. But with that, we have to address our emotions. That is why I'm emphasizing on this word that addressing is extremely important, right?
Yeah,
So
and it's basically like self-reading. Like we know whether we are getting the positive emotions or the negative emotions, what is trying to manipulate the mind and how we are suffering. Like we just get to know the pros and cons in our life issues. Self-reading.
and also, Shibulu, it is that we need to share it with somebody because, I talk about analysis a lot. All of us are becoming so mechanical, like you said, priority. Like somebody says, practicality, mechanical. We become so mechanical that, all right, this is my priority. Even while, taking this session, which is on emotional well being, we might be occupied doing something else, right? So,
Yes.
the point here is that we have forgotten to be conscious in the moment. I want to ask you all, everybody, all the people in this place, just get rid of your technical mind for a while, right? And tell me that are you really present here?
You mean like body present, mind absent?
That I can see, or somebody who's writing, I can see that they are physically present. But are we mentally present here? Maybe somebody is sitting in Singapore right now, mentally, right? With mentally,
Yeah.
yes.
Like maybe on the cloud nine.
On a cloud line, or maybe thinking about Saturday evening, what is the plan? Okay, this session I have to attend, but then what is my plan for the night tonight? I have a plan for sure. I'm already fixed the plan, already discussed it with the person I have to go out with. But yes, right now I am totally here with you guys. I'm not thinking what I'm going to do in the evening, right? Because it is important for my emotional well-being. The moment our brain, gets occupied in two things or three things or four things at the same time, we're not at all efficient. We can never be efficient, right? So mental presence, whenever you're sitting with your family, whenever you're eating food, whenever you're watching TV, whenever you are, making or creating any project or doing any project, you got to be there, right? Since Divya has, been following up with me for so long, and we could arrange this particular session, and I thanks her because I love to interact with individuals on emotional well-being, and it's so important. Forget about what are you earning out of it, what you're not earning out of it. I'll be very, very plain here. But the point is that am I connecting with Chebulu? Am I connecting with Abhishek? Am I connecting with Sujata or Sanyam or Ashish or Premlat? Because I'm a human. Are you a human?
Yes,
How many
of
of you are
course.
human? You can raise your hand. I am a human. How many of
Human
you are?
being. Human being.
You're a human being? Who else is a human being? Can raise the hand. Shan says me. Who else says it? Ashish, SEMS Foundation. Divya says she's a human. Let me see. Pour your hands. Give me a thumbs up or raise a hand, and I will agree that you are there and you're humans. Let me see. Let me see. Yes. Now I'm getting it. Now I'm getting it. So human beings are meant to converse. Human beings are meant to discuss. We are meant to share. We are meant to say good or bad or anything to each other. Yeah. Right. Forget about analyzing them, who said what to me, but what am I feeling? How often do I step out and talk? How often I get time that, you remember in the old times, we used to have our neighbors around. We were chit chatting. We call it corridor talking,
Yes. Gossiping.
right in the corridor we are talking. And yes, sometimes gossiping as well. Do you guys agree gossiping is good for health? Shantanu?
Not that much.
A little
If it
bit.
is, if it is regarding the right content, yes, obviously.
Yes.
If it is related to the wrong one, better to step back.
So filtering.
Yeah.
Yes. बहुत कुछ है. We have a lot of things that we have to filter. Let it get registered in our subconscious mind.
Spend time wisely with quality of content.
Quality matters, because even if let's say my husband or my mother or my father, have said something to me, would I be hurt? Would I feel bad if somebody is saying something wrong to me or to you, right? And that too from the dearest one. How would you feel for that moment? Not so good, right? Not so good. But if I am doing this, that I'm, remembering each and every word that person has said, and then replaying that tape again and again and again in my mind, then what am I going to do with it? I will have,
Overloaded.
I'll be overloaded. What else, guys?
I think things we like we should take, or which we don't like we should drop there. So participating in gossip depends on us, how much and what we are taking along with us.
So moving past to gossip as well, Shan, that we were talking, that somebody who said something wrong to us, and that to a dear one, right? So sometimes it happens that because we are human beings, so we keep repeating that tape in our mind. And when I'm
Yeah, it
repeating
gives
that again
yeah.
and again, so what happens is that, my ego, my internal feeling starts getting, I start getting that rage. All right, why this person has said this to me? I am not like that. Does it happen in the workplace? Abhishek gives a big smile. Everything that she's saying is right.
Obviously, ma'am. Correct.
Right. But yes, Shebulu, it is easy to say, but difficult to follow. But let's
Yeah.
go step by step, right? We have to practice. Like Divya mentioned a line, that mental health, Divya, if you could repeat that or write it in the chat box, that, mental health needs, if you want to be stable, if you want to manage your emotions, you need practice, because you have been into a pattern for quite some time. So when we are trying to break that particular pattern, it needs practice, right? Sometimes I get clients, they say that today I have come to you. Today only I will get all the solution. You help me with the solution. You give me the solution of my problem. I can give you the solution. I can tell you do this. But will your problem change? Abrar, Isha, yeah, Chebul, yeah.
Actually, it depends upon the level of perception. If we, like, at that time, at that point of time when you are giving a suggestion, if our mind is unstable more, okay, we try to accept. If not, we may think, no, it doesn't work. Maybe I should go for some other session.
Right. So do you agree here with me, Chebulu, that even if you're in a stable mind and I give you the pointers, do this, you still need practice?
No one can practice things in a one term or one goal. Maybe whatever you say, we can recollect after some time. Okay, whatever she said, yeah, maybe this is correct or wrong. We discuss the pros and cons. So based on that, we'll go for what to do, what not to do. But firstly, we listen with presence. Yeah, that will happen.
You do listen. You are that person that being that okay, you're ready to receive. There are people who are not ready to receive.
Exactly.
There are people who are not ready to even understand. Sometimes you're so much derailed emotionally, and there is no harm in that. There is something that is called as derailing of inner being. That is that you're so much
And
distressed.
we feel like we are losing our positive energy or vibes from the negative, toxic people. And see, of course, going to the workplace and all, we may say loads of politics and also the toxic people and who couldn't control the growth of other persons. Type of categories and persons we may familiar over there. We may feel sometimes very uncomfortable, and again, we don't want to work here. But the priority is we're supposed to learn what to do and what not to do. Have to minimize the time. If we are trying to change anyway, we can't change them. It's a waste of time. We should limit our boundaries and we should work on it.
Yes, very true, Jeffrey, very true. So the thing is not this that I run away from the situation. That's what you're trying to say. The thing is that I have to be there and I have to ultimately face it. But how do I face it? That is what I'm talking about. So the point here is that Not everybody will understand you always, right? Or you would understand others all, right? It will always be, there will always be a time wherein there is some tiff, there is some sort of, misconception, there's some sort of conflict. Nowadays, I am taking a lot of session on conflict resolution, mental health, well-being in corporates. Why? Because we all have kind of, got that shock of this entire thing that we all have gone through. I don't want to name it again and again, right? It's not a beautiful name or a memory, right?
Yes.
But the point here is that I am becoming, I am training myself. The line that you have to write is that I am ready to train myself every day to become more conscious. I'm going to talk about the five components of emotional well-being. I'm going to share some points there that it's an everyday task. So it's a process. When Divya has written in the chat box that it's a process. So achieving, it's not a destination that you today I am in good health, tomorrow I will also be in good health, and day after also I will be in good health. Or today I have attended emotional well-being session, I am going to be in sky always now. Nirvana. I've got nirvana. Have you got nirvana today with me? Right? So it doesn't happen that. It doesn't happen. It needs practice. And neither I'm here to demotivate you on that. But yes, it's a constant thing. Like you brush your teeth every day. It cannot be that once I brush and then it's done. No. You eat every time. You eat 4 times a day, 5 times a day. You drink water as much as needed. Thus, your mental health needs that good food. That is filtering, Chebulu, what you said when we were talking about gossip, right? So when we are talking, when we are gossiping, bitching around sometimes, yes, because that gives us a high. That's a human tendency, guys. Psychology says that when you talk about somebody else, you get a little high. Get a good feeling within you. And especially when if it is your boss or somebody in authority who agrees with you on that. Do you agree, guys? Give me a thumbs up, those who are not on video mode, and
If
others as well.
if things reaches our expectations, surely will be like that.
We all have to accept it. We all have to agree with it, right? I think most of us are adults here. I don't know the age of every individual out here, but yes, if we have worked out, if we have gone out, we have experienced people even in colleges, even in schools, right? Sony agrees with me. So we have that tendency, and that is not bad, I would say. We need to channelize it. How would the world be if, I go ahead and, let's say, Chebulu, you and I are working in the same organization, and I go ahead and say, Chebulu is so amazing. She's so good. How would it be that if I train my brain to get a high when I talk good about you, right? We are easily so prone within our environment that we talk so bad about others, but we don't talk good about others. So, I have a community called Soulful Talk. I started this community, and wherein I am only focused, and it's free of cost, there's no charge in it. I'm only focused that we talk to each other, we uplift each other. That is my motto, right? The world is out there, good, bad, everything is there. We keep, getting the threshold, right? But what we need is peace. What we need is souls that can uplift each other. Are you that soul? I am that soul. Are you that soul? Give me a shake your hands, say high five, you can dance as well. Free yourself, guys. Right? It's important because हम emotions के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. We're talking about emotions. We're not talking about any, Microsoft Excel. We're not talking about any IT project here. We're talking about us, our emotions, how individuals are, how human beings are, right? So with that, I want to show you one thing, and I'm sure, and thank you for those who have had, raised the hands. Thank you so much. That makes me feel that you all are with me. And throughout the COVID, I have a habit of this. Most of the people in non-video mode, but still there present. So at least I feel good about it. Right, so I'm going to share my slide here. Anybody can give me a thumbs up if you see that. So emotional well-being. Yes, my company's name is Chisel Minds, and we just chisel the negative thoughts, throw them out, and make our mind peaceful. So today we are talking about emotional well-being. what are emotions that we have been discussing so far, what are the components of emotional well-being, and how to regulate emotions, right? Very simple things, but sometimes, as Jeblu, you have mentioned that it gets difficult to really do such things and, get out of something that is very, very turbulent for us. So, yes, anybody who resonates with this photo, San, would you like to say
Sometimes we need to manage all the things at one stretch.
one stretch?
I think that,
And
ma'am, I think that as per my opinion, she is handling more than she is handling more than one, two, three, four tasks.
Yeah,
multiple tasks.
multitasking, we can say.
Anybody
But
who's writing in the chat?
yeah, but if we do multitasking, sometimes our kind of emotions or the kind of memory will reduce, especially in the women's. In research, we just got to know that shifting our kind of action on different tasks will actually gives anemia after some years. So we should really focus on one category. After that, we should switch to other one.
So all of us, are usually in autopilot mode. Do you agree with me, people? Are we in autopilot mode generally? And we have work, we have, we have family, we have extra things that we are doing in our life. We are also contributing in the society, and autopilot is like that, I'll stop sharing for a while. The autopilot is like that sometimes, I have to get the grocery, I have to fix the clothes for next week. I have to get it ironed. So it's a weekend vibe. Right now we all have weekend, and on social media we all write it's a weekend vibe. Yay, we are enjoying. And what is going on in the background? What's going on? Okay, planning for the next week. Okay, this is what I have to do. Oh, of course I will go out for dinner. Of course I will spend some good time with my family. But then if kids are there, then the homework is there, right? If the boss is there, then the piled up work is there, right? And there's a study. I do not want to demean anybody here, but there's a study that Indians are overworked. We are overworked, right? So we are the ones, we are the torch bearers that I will take care of myself. I will focus on myself, upon my well-being. So I will no more be in the autopilot mode, right? So autopilot mode is basically that, we are in a fixed pattern of thoughts. We are not realizing much. We are just going on and on and on, right? It describes a state of mind in which one acts without conscious intention or awareness of present moment, sensory perception. So we're not using our senses much. We're just going on and on and on. We know how to type on a laptop. We know simultaneously, okay, I am, uh, managing stuff around. I'm calling over, somebody and talking and doing multiple things at the same moment. When you're in the workplace, you are doing thousands of things together. Here comes an emergency meeting. Here comes, this is a deadline for today that, we had to give a day after, but today only the client is asking. Here comes another client meeting planned immediately after one, right? Sometimes we do not get much time to eat our lunch. So autopilot mode is affecting our being, Many of you must have felt today, if it is a good Saturday for you that you're resting at home, do you feel some sort of tiredness? Are you feeling tired? Yes. Are you feeling tired? So anywhere you have a pain, anywhere, maybe in the arm or neck, Chebula is moving her neck. Yes, anywhere, right? So these are all stresses, the emotional load, the conscious load that we have taken on our brain that goes into our body, that shows apparently in our body, right? So emotions play a very, very vital role. Emotions just can make you feel happy as well, and they can just sabotage your energy, right? They can uplift your energy and they can sabotage your energy. So what do you want? Do you want to uplift your energy or you want to sabotage? Give me a thumbs up if you say you want to uplift. Give me a thumbs up. Yes. So these emotions have different variety. As you can see, somebody is smiling, somebody is surprised, somebody is, yeah, I don't want to listen to it. Somebody is like, I'm quite angry. Somebody is just giggling and laughing and smiling. Somebody is like, wow. So this is what we are. Are we? Yes. And sometimes still we define ourselves. oh, I am this kind of a person, oh, I am this kind of a person. No, we are a good mixture, we are a good combination. God has sent us with a lot of varieties. I'm nobody to define myself. There is something above me, above my own power, my own brain that has designed me, isn't it? You've been designed by somebody else and still we own it so well, right? So expressing is the key, sharing is the key. So your body reacts to your thoughts first and then comes your emotion. Now, understanding, the concept of emotions is that firstly, there is a thought that comes in our mind and that brings the emotion. A thought of that you don't like visiting a place, but you still have to go. A thought of that you do not like somebody with whom you're staying, you still have to stay. What kind of a emotion you will have? Anybody? What kind of a emotion will you have if you do not like doing something and still you're doing that? You're not happy, right? And that brings an effect on your body. So any sort of thought that is there that will interpret into emotion. So whatever you're thinking, like Jabulu, you initially said that, you know, the talk should be fruitful. We have to filter, as I said. So whatever you're receiving, you have to filter. Tell your brain. And there are a lot of practical techniques nowadays which we train people on that you have to filter because sometimes, we don't even acknowledge it and that thing goes into us. The energy goes into us. So what is the key here is that we need to have a filter. Okay, if somebody abuses me, that's none of my business. If somebody says something, over flattery to me, that is none of my business. It's up to you. How do you take over flattery, right? How do you take compliments? How do you take comments? How do you take suggestions? How do you take discussions? It's up to you. And if you had a great discussion about something, let's say sometimes people get so agitated when we talk about politics or religion for that reason. So it has always been taught to us that do not, talk about these are those two taboo words that we should refrain from having discussion in a public forum. Agreeing, guys? Are you all with me? With me, with me? Please give me a thumbs up.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Great. So thoughts, and I'm only getting from 3 people. Anybody else who's there? Knock, knock. Ashish, Sayam, are you there? Isha, Premlata, Abrar, Yashpal, Shorilu, Magdalena. Yes, we have so many people. Deepak, Soni, Dr. Sanjay. Right, so I really appreciate that we are listening here and we are just absorbing what is going on. So thoughts create our reality. So taking care of our thoughts is what is most important. As we start taking care of thoughts, that whatever is happening in the physical world, that is outside of me, that is not inside. I am at bay. And with that, I see it more rationally what is happening. And accordingly, I filter and take the pointers out of it and put it in my brain. And then, of course, I might have emotions. Are we clear till here? Yes. There comes, that the definition, what are emotions? That is conscious mental reaction, which brings physiological and behavioral changes. Clear? And a very, short-lived feeling. Every emotion has a very short-lived feeling that comes from a known cause. So the known cause is that something happened externally. I perceived it, I thought about it, and then it turned into emotion. The moment I went, and saw a beautiful bird outside, a very beautiful bird, so I see that, I interpret that, I'm liking this bird. And the moment I like this bird, I have a feeling. And a feeling is I'm feeling happy. So getting that much conscious in our daily life is actually important. If we want to save ourselves from diseases, if we want to have a healthy life, if we want to have healthy relationships, if we want to ladder up in our workplace. A lot of people, successful people, leaders, I work closely with leaders and I mentor with, I'm a mentor with them. And I see that those who are working on self are actually laddering up and they're pacing up on that, right? So with that, we come to the 5, components of emotional well-being. It's actually emotional intelligence, but I call it emotional well-being. So there are 3 things that are integral intrapersonal, and there are three things which are interpersonal. So intrapersonal is all about me, how I am as an individual, how conscious I am about myself. If let's say, Abhishek, I want to ask you a question that if somebody says, Abhishek, you sometimes I feel you're a little snobbish, or you're little, you feel jealous of others. Let's say, if somebody has given you upfront this line to you, what would you say? What would you think?
Basically, I just don't care if someone is thinking that I am selfish and I don't care about someone feeling, then I don't care. It's her wish, is his wish, is his thinking. I
Hmm,
don't care. I take care only about me and
that's good.
myself only.
So that's filtering. That okay, I'm not supposed to, because you're instructing your mind here. You're giving an instruction to your brain that I'm not supposed to do this and I will not take this. But let's say if let's say somebody says, you're jealous, and I'm that person who feels jealous of somebody, right? So I may not agree in front of that person, maybe, but I may agree with myself. Yes, sometimes I think I feel jealous, right? So that is self-awareness, that I know who I am. Because if I am sometimes jealous, I might be giving a similar kind of a vibe to somebody else. Agree? Right here, we are not talking about anyone. We're talking about myself, yourself, right? So if I know that who I am, if I'm conscious, if I'm working on daily basis, if I'm writing that, okay, these are my traits. Sometimes these are my dominant traits. Sometimes in the family, you might have heard someone saying, oh, you are the dominant one, or you are the submissive one, right? Shibulu is smiling, right? So what happens there is that, yes, maybe I am the dominant one and you're smiling, or maybe you were the submissive one, because I said both the lines together, right? So I am getting conscious. I know what I am. And at least if I know myself, I can work better. I can perform better. So managing emotions, again, as we talked a lot about it, that filtering is important. For that, we need peace of mind. How do you get peace of mind? That we will talk little later, right? And motivating oneself. So getting up every day, doing my everyday tasks, not in the autopilot mode. Can we write this, that I will not be in autopilot mode anymore? I will be that whatever I am doing, I am conscious about it. I am enjoying it. Even if it is giving me bad feeling, I'm taking that. Even if it is giving good feeling, I'm taking it. I'm not in the autopilot mode, right? So, and guys, there has never been any situation where I have, not experienced this, that I'm going into autopilot mode and I bring myself back. So, saying this, it's easy to say, or in corporate world, it doesn't happen that way. Or if you have two kids, I'm a mom of two kids. My younger one is 6 months old now, right? And I'm managing everything. I'm also managing my work. I'm managing household also. I'm managing kids also. So if someone comes and says that, my situation is different than yours, and I have many more, I take care of elderly, ill people as well, right? So a lot of things are there in our lives, but I am enjoying it. Even if I'm feeling bad about something, I'm feeling it. Even if it is good, I'm feeling good. So even if you're feeling good, you're feeling bad, at least you're feeling it. That is what is most important. And intrapersonal is that if you are fine within, you will be fine in the outer world. So interpersonal and intrapersonal. Intrapersonal, if you are balanced within, you can manage others, you can empathize, you can have social skills, you can talk to people, you can discuss, you can, even take care of them in a different way altogether. You can always be their torch bearers also, right? Or others can also be. So if you are sound enough within, then if even if somebody is showing empathy to you, you're able to take it gracefully, right? In the social segment where we are going out, meeting friends, or there are some people who want to be at home. Now that does not mean that they're not emotionally well, that they're not emotionally intelligent, but they don't like much to interact, right? But if they are with their family members, they're talking a lot. So even that person is equally emotionally stable, The purpose here to, divide it in 5 components, and that too in intrapersonal and interpersonal, is to understand that all of this is important for our growth. Do you all agree with me? That all of this, all 5 things are important for us. Getting self-aware, managing our emotions, motivating oneself, then empathizing with others, and really, going out and being more social. Clear? So 5 components that makes us more emotionally stable. These are the pillars, right? So if we are working towards it, we will always be able to sail through well with our emotions, right? And emotion is not something that is technical. Emotion is that you are feeling it, right? So you're feeling, if you feel that, okay, I don't like social gatherings, so sometimes you can try that, okay, let me step out, let me just go and see what's happening there, even if I'm not talking to anybody, right? Or somebody says that, I don't feel like meditating at all, I cannot sit with myself and do it. Bring a companion, take your friend, or take your friend's help, or your girlfriend's help, or your boyfriend's help, or your husband, bachas, children, teachers, anybody, your boss. Tell your boss, today I want to meditate with you. Maybe it will help our team better. Yeah, a lot of meditation sessions are happening. NLP, I do neuro linguistic programming, and we do a lot of mindful practices with corporates, and nowadays they're welcoming it, and they're surely welcoming it, right? So the 5 components of emotional well-being: being conscious about ourselves so that you can manage yourself better, you can manage your emotions, right? When you understand that, first the thought comes, then the interpretation happens, then the emotion comes, right? So that means that you are pausing in between, that you are haltering, right? You're pausing, you're taking your time, you're processing the information, and then you're showing your reaction, right? So processing is important. Always being in autopilot mode, then you give autopilot answers as well. You do autopilot interaction as well, right? So getting conscious of that is extremely, extremely important. And then when you're able to manage yourself, you're self-aware, you can motivate yourself, right or not? You can easily do that. But if you're not doing the first 2 points, then definitely motivating oneself, stepping out of bed can sometimes be extremely difficult, right? And interpersonal is, try to really, really listen to people more, active listening, because that we are naturally built that way, right? So we have to listen carefully so that we can empathize, so that we can build some social skills. Moving on, last thing that I want to give you is that how, our diet also happens to, affect our emotions, how, we can take care of ourselves. So mindfulness practices are there. You can do meditation, you can do yoga, you can do, I can mention gratitude meditation is there. Just try it. It really, really works. You can YouTube it. You'll get it. If you need, I can send the link to Divya. She can share it with you guys. Quality sleep is important. Shutting down on our devices right on time is extremely important, because all of us is unconsciously impacting us and getting registered here, right? Supportive relationships, sometimes you feel it's you who's negative, but a lot of times it is that you're in your environment, people are negative, right? So when you know yourself more, you can differentiate better and do not fall prey of such people, right? Because they know how to manipulate. Agreeing? So pause a lot in your life, structure your life a little bit more as you structure your holiday, as you plan your weekends, your weekdays, so plan about yourself a little more. Mental health care is important, because if you see some trigger lines, do contact a professional. That is extremely important, especially in today's time, because unconsciously we all have gone through a lot and we have a baggage of it. Right, Rebolu? We have a baggage. So we have to get rid of those baggages. As you're listening to this webinar, go ahead and attend any other webinar. Go for some mindfulness practices with people. Talk more. Go to a platform, talk. Okay, this is what I think is. This is what I think is. Express more, so you will be able to regulate yourself better. And nutrition is extremely important, right? Get yourself, your vitamin D and vitamin B12 check. Guys, please, I request to everyone, I say in my sessions also, they are the real root causes that trigger your brain, right? So all of this is interconnected. This is that cycle. So practice mindfulness, practice, quality sleep, practice, that you have supportive relationship, right? Do a corridor talking with people, get engaged with your neighbors as well in a most positive sense. Wherever you feel that, somebody is crossing a boundary, keep them at bay and learn to say no. Please learn to say no, right? So what will you do differently from now on? We open the forum for Q&A, and I would like to take the question if anybody has. A new beginning is waiting for you, so grab it. And thank you from my end. There we come. Thank you, Amir. Thank you so much that you felt it's an informative session. And yes, this is a very, very small glimpse of emotional well-being that I could give in 1 hour. There is a lot more to it. Anybody who has any question, thank you, Soni. Thank you so much. Or anything that you just want to share, express. Thank you, Magdalena. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are rocking.
Wow, what a wonderful knowledge given by you, ma'am. I hope our audience learned many new things from this session. I would like to highlight some points like emotional well-being is an ongoing process that requires consistent attendance and care. Be gentle with yourself and take small steps each day towards nurturing your emotional health. You deserve to live a life filled with emotional resilience, happiness, and inner space. So it was very effective for our audience. And again, thank you for joining us and sharing your experience, your precious time and knowledge with us. Ma'am, there are a few questions which our audience wants to be answered. So with your permission, shall we start?
Sure, Divya, please help me with that.
So my first question will be, how do our emotions influence our overall well-being and what can we do to harness the positive power of emotions in our daily lives?
Right. So as I mentioned that, and who asked this question, Divya?
Ma'am, we got this question from our YouTube audience.
Oh, YouTube audience. Great. So we are going live as well. Amazing. I didn't know that. Righty. So yes, emotions, they bring a lot of impact on us, like I was mentioning during the session as well, that, it creates a physiological change or a behavioral change in your body, in your, attitude, and a physiological change can be mute. Yeah. And, a physiological change in your overall appearance in your body. So if we are not, let's say if you're feeling dull and down, so we'll have, dark circles here. Our skin will go dull. We will not have energy. We will talk in a more slouchy way. So that's how emotions affect us. And as I mentioned that there are conscious practices. So in case if you're really not able to, manage by instructing your brain simply that, okay, let's do this, and your brain is not following you, then there are ways through which you can do meditations, you can do mindful practices. There are different sorts of healing practices as well. So when you do those, when you start doing those practices, your mind goes into a transient mode, right? And transient mode helps you to relax, to stop, to pause, and then you see and perceive your situation in a very, very different way altogether. So why, turbulence happens? Because our mind is clouded. And why cloudiness is there? Because we have not filtered the thoughts. So the moment you filter your thoughts, it starts happening. Your emotion starts getting better. I hope I've answered, Divya.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other question?
What are some common challenges people face in managing their emotions?
So yes, I can understand where this question is coming from. So a lot of things happen, and emotions. Divya, just repeat the question once more.
What are some common challenges people face in managing their emotions?
The common challenges, right? So the common challenges can be that you're not able to focus. You're not able to, we have a tendency towards that, if we have been asked to do something, we avoid it. You agree? So until it comes from within, so a lot of us, because we have such a practical life, we have such a busy, mode of life nowadays. So sitting and getting, praying or meditating or relaxing ourselves, that has become a task for us. Even while we are sleeping in the night, we are not relaxed. Do you agree, guys? Sometimes. I would not say that not everybody is like that, but a lot of times people feel this challenge. When they're trying to manage their emotion, they are not able to, because they're, they say that I cannot sit and meditate. I cannot, express myself to somebody. I cannot talk to somebody. So again, all of this is from your technical mind. All these answers are from your technical mind, right? So what you need is, you need a transient mind. And how do you get the transient mind? By slowly and steadily practicing, even for 1 minute, inculcating that habit, or journaling, writing our emotions. So these are the challenges that we face, that we try hard to manage our emotions, but we are not able to. Right, Divya? Any other question?
No, ma'am. Thank you for answering this question. So again, thank you all for attending today's webinar. And if you have any additional question, you can contact us by email or telephone. We are happy to provide you additional support. And you can please follow on our social media and subscribe our YouTube channel. So stay connected to us for new learnings. I, Divya Jain, your host for the day, signing off. Have a wonderful day. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you so much
Thank you, Divya. Thank you, everybody. And love
you,
to you
ma'am.
all. And wish you all good health. Bye-bye.